Good day, YouTube. 25th of May 2019. And Glenn's got some new tools in the shop. It was my birthday about 3-4 weeks ago. And for my birthday, my wife got me this plasma cutter. It's actually a 3-way machine. It does 3 things. It is a 50 amp plasma cutter, a 200 amp TIG welder, and a 200 amp inverter arc welder. So I think it's going to be a pretty cool machine. I do not have time, and I have not even plugged it in to test it out yet. But I did just go to Harbor Freight and picked up a cart to put it on. So at least I can roll it around. It has space in the back for a bottle for the argon, for the TIG machine part of it. And it's the same cart that I have for my MIG welder, which I'd love to have the big carts. If I had just tons and tons of room, I would have. But these small carts, they park in small spaces. They're easy to move around, get between cars and stuff when things are busy around here, which they typically are. So, the cart was, regularly $40. Throw a 20% off coupon at it, and now it's $32. So, I guess it's 32. Did I do the math right? 2, 4, 6, 8. Yep, $32. So you can't beat it for the price. Some assembly required. Of course, it comes in a box, and yeah, we got it all put together, and it's just great size for rolling this around and parking it in small, tight spaces. So cool tool, and it, like I said, it's a 3-in-1 tool. It is a welder arc, it is a welder TIG, and a plasma cutter. 3 machines in one. Probably doesn't do any one thing spectacularly, but it probably gets you by doing all of the other. I bought it mostly for the plasma cutter piece, but it's a 240 or 120 machine. So it's does half the current welding at 110 as it does at 220. So you would expect that. The reason I really sought this out, having 3 machines in one takes up less room, it's less expensive, Having the 120 component is I can throw a generator in the truck, throw this in the truck if I need to go do cut or weld or something, if we're going to go get a rig or somebody wrecked something or trailer broke down or whatever. I have portable welding machine with a relatively small generator to power it. 3-in-1 machine, brand new, haven't used it, haven't even fired it up yet. We'll do that down the road sometime. I don't really need it right now, but it was the right time to add this to my tools for my birthday. All right, hang on just a second. I know you've seen this before. This is a 3-in-1 sheet metal tool where it is a shear, a brake, and a roller, all in one. The advantages, 3 tools take up the space of 1. In this case, it's a kind of a compact version of the 1. So less expensive, doesn't take up so much room. It's nice to be able to have the ability to use all of those. Like the plasma cutter, it probably doesn't do any one of them super good, but it can get the job done, and that's the point. I probably don't use it a ton, but when you need them, you need them, right? A 3-in-1 sheet metal tool. Hang on. I show you all that to show you this. You say, Glenn, what is that? Well, it's a lathe. It's part of a lathe. Okay, it was a very heavy lathe that I had to go take apart so that I could load it. It's very, very heavy, but it's not just a lathe. It's a lathe with a mill. So on top of the tower sits the milling machine portion of that is also a drill press. This is a 3-in-1 multi-purpose machine. It is a lathe, a mill, and a drill press. All in one. It's in 1,000,000 pieces right now, but I'm confident I can put it together. It came up on Marketplace. The gentleman, same name as me, was gunsmith, is a gunsmith. He's going to retire from his real job very soon and do gunsmithing full time. He bought this machine brand new. He said he used it all of 15 minutes. He never used the mill. In fact, he said when he tried to turn it on, nothing happened. So, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, except when I pulled the cord out so I could separate it. Can you see the black wire? It was mostly crimped on insulation, maybe a few strands of copper. So, might have been just a connection issue. With the rest of these, I was able to pull off the switch because, again, I had to take the wire out to get the mill off. The mill itself's over 100 pounds, maybe $1.25, something like that. It was real heavy. All the tooling and end stock and all that stuff, all this stuff just added up to weight. So we took as much off of it, even the chuck off of it, and then it took 2 of us to get this off. In fact, I pulled this out of my trailer with my hand truck with pneumatic tires. And the side where the tower is, sorry, I'm running quickly, just squished the tire. I mean, the thing is 200 pounds. So this whole thing's probably 500 pounds. So I just picked up, went to Harbor Freight, picked up a Yukon Toolbox, just like the one that 3-in-1 sheet metal tool is on. I'm going to put that together and then get it over here and then get this thing lifted up and set on top and then reassemble this lathe milling machine. What a cool tool to have around the shop. Always wanted one. Couldn't really justify the space, the expense, and all of that. I took machine shop in high school, and that's it. We made some cool stuff in high school, but I haven't done anything like that since. So it's going to be fun to get back into that again, or at least have the ability to make a custom whatever when I need it. A bushing, an adapter, a plate, or whatever. And there's some fun stuff I want to get into down the road. I want to do some metal melting and foundry and stuff like that. Be able to pour something and machine it would be awesome. So, all right, I'm going to get started putting that toolbox together. That's the second one I have done this year because I got that other one back for Christmas, as a matter of fact. And then I'll check back with you on the progress of the lathe milling machine. With a little help from my trolley system and my come along, we got the base of the lathe sitting on the toolbox. That's huge. That thing is heavy, but you know, I just had to winch it up and I had the toolbox all put together, wheels on it, handles on it. It's good to go. It's fantastic. And got the heavy old base sitting down here. So right near the edge, right near the back edge where it's got some strength. This leaves me some surface area in front and a nice working surface here on the right side. And then of course, big drawer for, you know, extra cutters and tools and parts and pieces and measuring devices and micrometers and all that stuff. So next, let's get this puppy bolted to the table so she don't take a fall. Like I mentioned earlier, the guy only used this thing 15 minutes, he said. And it really shows. You can see there's just nothing on the table at all. I did polish it up real quick with some stuff there. They didn't even wear the paint off any of the belt pulleys. So it's basically brand new. We'll get her cleaned up, get her all put together, maybe yet today or finish it up in the morning or something. And here at work, get it oiled up and ready to do something. So let me get a drill out, start drilling holes through that brand new toolbox, get some bolts in it so we don't drop it on the floor. Catch you in a little bit. All right, I need your moral support here. This whole thing is just too heavy to lift. This thing probably 100 150 pounds. Like that. Alrighty. That's the heavy piece. Safely aboard. The mill components easily moves out of the way so you can use the lathe without this being in the way. But it's looking good now, isn't it? Starting to look like a machine. All right. What do you think? We're getting there. All right, I'm going to continue to put the rest of these components on. I'm going to kind of clean as I go, because all the original assembly Cosmoline or whatever they put on all the bare metal, keep it from rusting. It's actually still there, so pulling it off, we'll get it all oiled up, everything like that. Woohoo! Got the heavy part done. We got some bolts in it. It's not going anywhere. Right on. All right. Check back with you. Alright, gang, fast forward to Sunday morning. I got up and got this tool all put together. I got it all cleaned, I got it all oiled, and I got it running. I mentioned earlier that the gentleman I bought it from said he only ever used the lathe portion, but he turned the mill on right when he was advertising it for sale, and it didn't work. I showed you that wire, which I corrected, got it all wired back up again. And it correct, when you push the start button it doesn't turn, but the motor was running. And what it turns out to be, he's probably had this thing for 10-12 years, and the grease in the bearings just got hard. So it wasn't even spinning the belt, the motor didn't actually start, but it was humming. And the bearings in this portion of it the grease was hard. So I got some WD-40 and sprayed down, and then I dropped some oil down, and got that all freed up real easy. This bearing was having some issues too, because I'm sure this thing just sat for years, and the grease they used was probably not the greatest. So I got some WD and some oil in that, and everything works good. I'll show you here. And it runs nice and quiet, smooth as silk. I'm gonna stay clear of here because I got so much oil in it. Every time I turn it on, it flings oil. One direction, two direction. Right now I pretty much have everything set on its slowest speed, because I don't need to be doing anything that dang fast for right now. Got all of everything else oiled up. Just moves wonderfully. The table's pristine. It's wonderful. Tailstock. Gang, I'm pretty happy about this. I see some projects in my future that I haven't been able to, didn't have the tools to make it happen. And I want to get into some metal melting, brass, copper, aluminum, that kind of thing. And, you know, maybe some machining and stuff, and, you know, I can cast whatever it is I want to cast, artwork or a bushing or something someday. So that's pretty awesome to have this. So this is the third 3-in-1 tool that I've added to the shop in the last year or so. So 1, 2, 3 3-in-1 tools. Don't take up a ton of space. Do lots and lots of things. And are relatively affordable. So very, very excited to have this. I'm going to go through my shop and find all my measuring tools, micrometers and stuff, and see what I have, and put in this box. Got to clean it up a little bit. Drilled a holes through and got a little dirt in there. We'll get all that cleaned up, put all my measuring tools in here. I need to do a little research. I printed off the manual for this. I got a book and I'll put it in here, so I'll have it for reference. I got to remember the different tapers. I just kind of make some notes on that, and then get a set of cutters or two for the lathe. And I don't think there's anything in here for the mill, so we'll get that. So anyway, stuff to do. Gang, I appreciate you watching my videos. I'd appreciate a thumbs up. You guys have been doing really good with that, and it's showing in my channel results, so I appreciate that. We're starting to grow this thing. We've been at this for about 2.5 years, and we're finally making some moves, so I appreciate that, you guys. Catch you guys on the next video.